Hello. I gotta turn this off. Wanted to be very Mr. Rogers today. Aren't these cool? My child encouraged me to be more myself and get interesting shoes. Anyways, today, here's my shoes that I really want to wear. Today we are going to talk about protest of beauty. So, last decade, more than a decade ago, I guess, I started an account that I don't regularly post on, but maybe I should be posting on it, called Protest of Beauty. And it was after we had tried to adopt a girl from Russia who has Apert syndrome, and the kids who were living in institutions in Russia at the time got caught up in a political tit for tat where the US government froze some accounts of some powerful people who were doing illegal things. The Russian government at the end of 2012 pushed through really fast a law that blocked Americans from being able to adopt from Russia. And I can certainly talk to you about adoption and how problematic it is, the adoption industrial complex, things that I didn't know ahead of time. But I still highly believe in adoption, especially for kids who have been institutionalized simply because their parents don't feel like they can take care of their medical needs or their disability needs. So there are just a lot of kids all over the world living in institutions who are there because of their disabilities. And I think that is sad and hard and wrong. And also, I'm from a country who's making plenty of terrible, horrible decisions regarding its children. So I have no illusion that my home country is better. I just mention all that because we were in the process when that happened. There were a lot of families in the process for kids who had Down syndrome and kids who had various other needs. And essentially the kids were punished for this political tit for tat. And they didn't get to go home to families that they had already met because the government was spiteful. And now we are living under another spiteful government. And that is why I'm here today. I began painting during that time of grief and feeling powerless because there was this child that we had intended to bring home and nobody was lining up for this child. And powers beyond our control kept us from being able to provide a home for her. And that made me very angry. It also made me feel helpless. But I chose at that time to lean into a protest of beauty by doing a lot of painting. As an artist, the language of beauty feels like my native tongue. And so leaning into beauty in times of distress or despair, one of my big phrases that I use all the time on One Daring Adventure is find the beauty. So this is how I stay engaged and alive feeling. And so I just encourage you to lean into a protest of beauty right now. So that can look like donating to mutual aid organizations. I follow Jenny Potter, and she just posted on Instagram and her links some great places that you can donate to in any amount. so that you're just doing something, right? That's a protest of beauty, is finding worthwhile organizations and donating, or making art. That's what I do. This is mother resistance. I want to lean into this protest of beauty and encourage you to keep hope right now. Not because things seem hopeful, but because when we don't hope, we despair. And so hope is this fight. There's a wonderful, wonderful quote by, I'm not going to remember her name, Rebecca Solnit, about hope. Oh, I have it in my journal. A Protest of Beauty deals a lot with hope. And I can't remember if I read this one the other day. I don't think that I did. Rebecca Solnit wrote a book called Hope in the Dark. To hope is dangerous, and yet it is the opposite of fear. For to live is to risk. Hope is not like a lottery ticket you can sit on the sofa and clutch, feeling lucky, because hope should shove you out the door. And that is what I had in my mind when I wrote Hope Like a Mother here. I think mothers are very good at getting stuff done. I'm really trying with the cursing. And so Protest of Beauty came from a story that I heard that was about a cellist who played his cello in like bomb craters in Sarajevo. I might read to you about him. I heard about him from Sarah Groves. She talks about being inspired by this cellist who was adding to the beauty in her song, Add to the Beauty, Cellist of Sarajevo. So there's a book called The Cellist of Sarajevo. But the real cellist of Sarajevo, Vedran Smailovic, he was a Bosnian musician who became a symbol of hope during the 1992 siege of Sarajevo by playing his cello in bombed-out ruins, including at the site of a massacre where 22 people died. So for 22 days, risking sniper fire to honor the dead and defy the war. His courageous acts of cultural resistance, playing mournful pieces like Albinoni's Adagio in G minor, inspired the novel The Cellist of Sarajevo by Stephen Galloway and remain an iconic story of art in conflict. So Protest of Beauty is about art in conflict. It's about creating beauty in places of sorrow. I saw an artist painting a picture of Renee Good the other day. You know, we have seen so many artists make beautiful tribute art to like Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd. People have made beautiful things to protest the horrors that are going on and have gone on for many years. Those are not new stories. Those are not new deaths. And the death continues in America. And so the protest, especially now, especially white women, I need you to find your way to make a protest of beauty, and I need you to get out there and do it. Whatever that looks like. Maybe you get in there and do it, okay? Maybe you order masks. Maybe you prepare food. Maybe you do what wonderful people are doing right now, just normal, wonderful people, watching, recording, walking children to school, bringing meals to neighbors. These are all a protest of beauty. And I'm not there. And I realize it might seem very ironic for me to be sitting over here in Portugal talking to you about this. But I do think the concept of protest of beauty is something that I can offer right now. And I feel like I can offer this because I do have felt safety in my body. in a way that you don't right now in Minneapolis and in the US. The other thing is, I just really want to be very honest about the fact that my heart is deeply, deeply present with you. Two of my family members now, my husband for work for several months, and my daughter are in America. My daughter landed in Minneapolis on the day of the shooting of Renee Nicole Good. And so my heart is not confused about what I care about right now. And what I care about is encouraging you to grasp some of these hope-filled ideas and live them in difficulty. And I feel okay saying that because I am there in heart, and my heart is walking around there in America right now. And that's why I'm here to encourage you. I thought that I would offer you the concept of protest of beauty because there's so many ways that you, in your particular strengths, can offer beauty to the world. I have been so moved by what Jenny Potter has been posting just about like the complete and utter exhaustion and confusion that comes with trying to help out her community in St. Paul while everything's going on, and trying to also just make good decisions for her own safety as a mother, make decisions based on like, oh, I need to go take my kid to piano lessons. You know, there's just this massive, confusing reality right now that I know that you're living. And I also know that if you lean into beauty as protest, I believe that the path will be clear to you on how to show up based on what is beautiful to you and what seems doable to you. Of course, it will seem too small. Of course, that sitting here in Portugal, it feels too small. Offering this art, I think I'm going to make it into a poster that people can put in your homes if you would like it. Just offering my art, I think, is one thing that I know how to do right now. And then offering my voice of how I personally have lived through hard things. And I haven't lived through the exact experience that is happening in the States right now. But I think that the concept remains true. And so, protest of beauty with me. Part of my protest of beauty right now is recording beautiful nature scenes for you called Meditation Minute. I'm putting them at the end of my long form videos. I'm posting almost every day right now. So please feel free to skip to the last minute of my long form videos on One Daring Adventure and just look at something beautiful, ground yourself by seeing nature and being quiet for a minute to help your nervous system. Because if you're in a panic, a constant panic, you're just going to want to hide, and you're not going to be able to lean into a protest of beauty in the way that I believe that most of you want to do, and maybe just feel overwhelmed. So anyway, use music, use whimsy. That was me with my blue shoes and Mr. Rogers. My heart is with you there, and I'll just be here trying to encourage you if you're a stayer or if you're a goer. So, see you next time.